Hello everyone, welcome to my channel, welcome back to my channel. I'm Tabitha with Moonlight Custom Creations, and today I'm going to be showing you how to do what I like to call a glow-in-the-dark hidden message tumbler. On the outside, you're not going to be able to see anything, but when you turn the lights off, there's messages there. So go ahead, stay tuned, watch the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let's go ahead, create some magic, and get crafty.
All right, y'all, what I have here is a 20-ounce skinny from Makerflow Craft and 20 milliliters of epoxy. I will be using wattage from the Glitter Grind, and that is our glow-in-the-dark powder. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take 2-3 scoops of this wattage. I'm going to add it in with my epoxy, and I'm going to mix it very, very well. And once you get it mixed, you want to start applying this all over the tumbler, making a nice even coat all over the tumbler to give it that this is going to be our base for our glow in the dark for the peekaboos. So you want to make sure that you get a good, nice, even coverage because we're not sure exactly where to put the peekaboos at this moment. And once you're done applying a nice layer of epoxy, you want to hit it with your heat gun to pop any bubbles that you may have, or your torch, whatever you'd like to use. And then you're going to let this spin and cure, whatever your cure time is. Mine is 12 hours. Now that our tumbler is nice and cured, I did make some markings on there where I want to put my main decal because we're not going to do that yet. I'm going to use a water slide True Crime Junkie right here. So I wanted to get that mapped out first. So I have these little decals, some feet, some bloody hands, help me. And now we're going to place those on this tumbler, making sure that I don't go in that marked off area. So I'm just going around trying to figure out exactly where I want to put these. Now this is removable vinyl. Pretty sure this is Cricut brand. I'm just going to place all of these decals all over the tumbler. I want to apologize for my voice. I am sick as I'm doing this voiceover, so sorry if I sound a little raspy. Now you want to make sure that you use removable vinyl for here. I mean, you could use permanent, but you will get less residue if you use removable vinyl, which is why I like to use removable vinyl, or I like to use stencil when I do my peekaboos. And you want to make sure that you get out all the air bubbles and everything whenever you do this because we will be spray painting over this. That way, the only thing that's going to glow is the help me, the bloody hands, and shoe prints. Now that we got everything on there, we can go ahead, take this out, and spray paint it. I'm going to use Rust-Oleum Flat White as my spray paint. All right, y'all, now that our spray paint is dried, we're going to go ahead and remove this vinyl that we have here. I'm just going to go in with my weeding tool and I'm going to carefully pick off all the vinyl that's on there. Now you want to be careful here because you don't want to scratch the paint or the epoxy underneath. All right, now that our vinyl is removed, we're going to go in with glitter because this is actually going to conceal those peekaboos. So I'm just taking some Mod Podge. I'm going to squirt it on my tumbler and spread it all throughout the tumbler here. I'm using Kaleidoscope from the Glitter Grind for this first layer here. Now that our tumbler is covered in Mod Podge, we're going to go in with this Kaleidoscope and we're going to sprinkle it all over the tumbler. And this actually conceals the little peekaboos, so you don't know that it's there, but when you turn off the lights, they still glow. Now that we're done applying our kaleidoscope, we're going to immediately go in with this afterglow. And this is going to make sure that we fill in any holes that may be there because this is a chunky mix. And we're going to cover the bottom of this tumbler. Now, since we used a chunky glitter, I'm going to go ahead, roll this around in my parchment paper to get that glitter laying as flat as possible. That way, when we go to put epoxy on it, it'll take less coats of epoxy to cover up the chunky glitter. Now, since this tumbler is dry, I let the Mod Podge dry fully before adding epoxy. We are ready for our first coat. Now, I'm just going to go in with roughly about 20 milliliters of epoxy, making sure it's nice and covered, and that glitter is nice and covered as well. So when you run your finger over it, it's nice and smooth. And then I'm going to go in with my heat gun and I'm going to pop any bubbles that may be lingering. All right, I did put 2 coats of epoxy on this tumbler. It is nice and smooth so that we can go in with our water slide. So I'm just going to start off with my main decal here, which is the True Crime Junkie. I'm going to put that right on the front, right above where the footprints are. I'm just going to let that soak. I'm going to get my tumbler wet as I'm letting it soak. Now that our water slide can easily come off the backing, I'm going to put it face down and then apply a little bit of pressure, and I'm going to slide the backing off. I'm just going to take my squeegee or my silicone makeup tool here, and I'm going to squeeze out all of the water, making sure the decal is nice and smooth and that there is no bubbles underneath. I also like to take my towel and just pat it, and that just helps me see if there's any more bubbles or any more water trapped underneath the water slide. Now I'm going to go in and I'm going to put these strips on the back of the tumbler. And I always mirror my images in my program. That way I can do my water slides like this. That way they don't come out backwards. So I always mirror my images and then print them out. I am using Hayes water slide paper here, and I do only put 2 of these crossings on. I don't pull out all 4. I just apply 2 of them. Now on the front, I am going to go in with the last little do not cross sign here with the last one, and I'm going to put that on the front, and that's going to be it for our decals. I am going to let this fully dry before I move on to the next step. Now that the water slides is fully dried, we're ready to go in with our blood splatter. I have this little, what I call a chip brush, and then I'm using this bright red acrylic paint from Apple Barrel. I just put it in this little container, and I'm going to dip my brush in. Make sure you're wearing gloves with this because it does get a little messy, which is why we're in my garage. I'm just going to flick my paintbrush all over this tumbler to give it that blood splatter effect. I'm making sure that I go throughout the sides and that I don't get big globs where my peekaboos are at. So I'm going to put a little bit on the bottom and then all over the top, the sides. It's fine if you get some on the decals. That's perfectly fine. And then what I'm going to do here is I'm going to sit and let this dry. I'm going to let it fully dry, and then we will be ready to go in with epoxy. Now that our paint is fully dry, I'm going in with about 15 milliliters of epoxy, putting on a nice even layer, and then I'm going to go in with my heat gun to pop any bubbles. I do apply one more layer of epoxy over top, and this is the final result, y'all. This tumbler is absolutely gorgeous. It's perfect for any true crime junkie like myself, and I will be showing you a little clip of what it looks like when it glows in the dark. Look at that. Oh my goodness. It's absolutely perfect. So amazing. I'm so excited. Now this tumbler is actually going out to a YouTuber, Courtney from Courtney's Customs. This is a surprise tumbler for her. She doesn't know that she's getting it. So if you like this video, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see y'all next time. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.